Rimush was the second-born son of Sargon and Queen Tashlultum, being a younger brother to Manishtushu. However, for some reason, it was Rimush that their father chose as the successor. The reason behind this Sargon's decision is not known. Whether the old king thought that his younger son was better built for the turbulent challenges of the young empire, or it was something else, Rimush was crowned the new king in 2279 BCE. Almost immediately after the new ruler ascended to the throne, it was clear that all the rebellions that Sargon had put down towards the end of his reign were not permanently settled, and that many of the subjects were just waiting for the next opportunity to succeed from the hegemony of Akkad. The newly crowned Rimush thus faced multiple rebellions across the realm. Most notably, the city-states of Sumer were up in arms, declaring their independence. The Sumerians were the only subjects of the empire which Sargon had previously allowed autonomy, leaving its city-states to be ruled by local monarchs carrying the title of Ensi, while the other regions were under the Akkadian appointed governors. What Sumerians did not know was that Rimush was not a weak ruler by any stretch of imagination. The Akkadian king rallied his army and marched southwards to crush the rebellion. Before reaching Sumer, Rimush first marched on the city of Kazalu, located on the Euphrates River in the region of Akkad. Kazalu was one of the cities previously conquered by Sargon, which was apparently, much like the Sumerians, ruled by a local Ensi. Their rebellion, however, was brutally put down by Rimush. In the ensuing battle, Rimush records killing more than 12,000 Khazalians, capturing the city and destroying its walls. The victorious king then proceeded further into the region of Sumer. His first major test came as he approached the city of Hadab, ruled by its Ensi, Meskigala. Meskigala was joined by Lugalgalzu, the Ensi of neighboring Zabalam, and the two rulers decided to make a stand against the Akkadian army. This was a mistake. The outcome of the battle was a decisive victory for Rimush. According to the royal inscription, Rimush, king of the world, in battle over Hadab and Zabalam, was victorious. 15,718 men he struck down, and 14,576 captives he took. Further, Meskigala, Ensi of Hadab, he captured, and Lugalgalzu, Ensi of Zabalam, he captured. Their cities he conquered, and their walls he destroyed. Further, from their two cities, many men he expelled, and to annihilation he consigned them. The Akkadian army under Rimush showed no mercy to the Sumerians. After laying waste to Hadab and Zabalam, Rimush moved further towards the city of Umma, which also sallied out with its army. The Sumerian rebels, seeing the utter brutality of Rimush's forces, decided to fight to the bitter end rather than to be captured. Ultimately, it made little difference as the Akkadians proved superior on the battlefield yet again. Rimush records killing 8,900 men in the battle against Umma and its allies, then capturing and enslaving 3,540 people and expelling 5,600 inhabitants. Finally, the cities of Lagash and Ur were left as the last of the rebels, and soon enough, the now fearsome army of Rimush was at their gates. The Battle of Lagash likely marked the end of significant Sumerian resistance, as Rimush was victorious once again. The devastation of Lagash and Ur was recorded as 8,049 men killed, 5,460 captured, and 5,985 expelled and annihilated. Upon this campaign of unprecedented brutality, Rimush proceeded to redistribute the land of the devastated Sumerian cities. The victory stele of Rimush over Lagash describes the attribution of large plots of land from Lagash to the Akkadian nobles. Akkadians were also appointed as governors across Sumer, ending the Sumerian autonomy and establishing direct Akkadian rule. As Sumer was now firmly secured, Rimush set his sights even further on Elam. The Elamites, having been previously defeated by Sargon, were likely Akkadian vassals, or at least such had been Sargon's claims. Either way, Elam used the opportunity of internal instability in Akkad to break away and enter alliance with the kingdom of Parashum, in the Sumerian texts known as Marhasi. For King Rimush, predictably, this meant war. In the 3rd year of his reign, Rimush departed his kingdom and marched to Elam. Meanwhile, the king of Elam, Emasini, joined his forces with a grand coalition under King Abalgamash of Parashum. The allied forces were also joined by the contingent of Zahara, led by General Sargapi, as well as armies from the lands of Gupin and Meluha, the latter of which many scholars associate with the Indus Valley civilization. The battle took place in about 2276 BCE, somewhere between the cities of Awan and Susa. It is unknown if the coalition forces were led by King Abalgamash of Parashum himself or one of his generals. What we do know is that General Sidaga was present, the same Parashumian commander that had in the previous times already battled Sargon for the control of Elam. The Akkadian army, on the other hand, was led by King Rimush himself. And just like many times before, the Akkadians proved to be superior on the field of battle, and Rimush was victorious yet again. Rimush, the king of the world, in battle over Abalgamash, king of Parashum, was victorious. And Zaharam and Elam and Gupin and Meluha within Parashum assembled for battle, but Rimush was victorious and struck down 16,212 men and took 4,216 captives. Further, he captured Emasini, king of Elam, and all the nobles of Elam. Further, he captured Sidago, the general of Parashum, and Sargapi, the general of Zahara, in between the cities of Awan and Susa, by the Middle River. Further, a burial mound at the site of the town he heaped up over them. Furthermore, the foundations of Parashum from the country of Elam he tore out, and so Rimush, the king of the world, rules Elam, as the god Enlil had shown. Following this crushing victory, Elam definitely fell under the Akkadian control. Rimush appointed an Akkadian governor in charge of what now essentially became an Akkadian province. Upon returning home, Rimush celebrated a grand triumph, bringing his vast spoils of war with him, and dedicated them to numerous sites throughout both Sumer and Akkad. King Rimush was hailed as great conqueror, and peace and order were finally restored throughout the empire, at least for a time. In the following years, Rimush ruled from his capital city, freed of wars and rebellions. However, although he was brutal and more than capable of eliminating any threat on the field of battle, even Rimush could not foresee the internal intrigues and conspiracies of his own court, something that he was about to pay for dearly. In 2270 BCE, A shocking event made waves through the Akkadian capital as King Rimush was found dead in the royal palace, assassinated by the members of his own court. The sources now become vague and do not offer neither the reason nor those responsible for the king's death. Barutu, the great Mesopotamian compendium of sacrificial omens, simply records, "Omen of King Rimush, whom his courtiers killed with their seals." Some scholars suspect that his older brother Manishtushu was a part of the plot. After all, he was quickly declared successor to the throne and had every reason to believe that he was unfairly skipped over when Rimush had become king. However, there is no concrete evidence to either prove or disprove his involvement, and all we know is that the king was dead and the new ruler was crowned. We're introducing this super thanks. The super thanks button allows you, the viewers, to show an extra gratitude to the channel and get your comments highlighted and noticed not only by myself but other viewers as well. Underneath the video, you will see a heart with a $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable. Hopefully you enjoy the content. Special thanks to History with Sai, Nico, Chris Ernst, Panayotis Yiannopoulos, Fred Leckie, Tim Lane, Derek Wildstar, ABC Shake, Padre91, Argyris Margaritis, Huel Sally Briggs, Labelle Olmier, Vineyard Illumination, and Estate Care on their continuous support. If you wish to discuss and decide on the future content, feel free to join us on Patreon. This was WanaxTV, and we'll see you again soon.